Welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode 261. We are reviewing for this one episodes 21 to 26 of Boukenger. Now, these are 6 straight standalone episodes. Yes, 6 straight. No multi-parters. Now, this is quite interesting though. Probably the first time in a while we've had no multi-parters. Basically 6 straight episodes. Or it's like basically with these episodes, let's just look for stuff. Basically various objects. In the case of episode 21, this definitely feels like the very next day, kind of, where Ichi's been debriefed about the whole Boukenger stuff. And of course, basically he does not get along with with Nasumi, the black Boukenger. Yep, does not go with him. And the purpose of this episode is to go retrieve the precious of the episode, which is basically a mallet from Japanese mythology. And of course, the Creation King is here with Gaja. Yeah. It is interesting to note the fact that Gaja is even here. Yep. And you might find this interesting though. After 21, he's absent for the next 4 episodes. Yeah, he does have a return in episode 26. And after 26, he's seeing the movie. Then he pops up again for not many more episodes after that. Nope. And this might be a question for you. Does he have any monster scenes period of time? Yes, he does. Now, 21 is basically him kind of using his own grunts again, the curses. Yeah, though they pop in 21, 24, and 26, just like he does. The Creation King himself has only seen 2 episodes, seen 21 and 25. Here's one for you. Dark Shadow shows up in episodes 22 and 25. While the Astro Tribe, or the Quasars, they pop up for 1 episode. That is correct. 1. And you're thinking, really? Yeah, even 26, we have this standalone monster. Didn't do any of the factions called Prince. Yeah, he pops up in episode 26. The whole thing is that, okay, the plot of 26, I'm sorry for 26 first because this is the most recent one I watched. Okay, so this is mysterious glass slipper. It first starts off with Nagi, where she is basically reading from the book. I kind of talked about 21, but that was very interesting with what it is. It's basically just silver and black coming with each other, that one. 26 is quite interesting. Nikki is reading Cinderella and having the cast of Boukenger replace certain characters. Like having the stepmom and her stepsister replaced with the guys. Well, 3 of the guys anyways. Having the prince played by Boukenger Pink. And really fun thing for this one. And eventually figure out, this story is based upon fact. Yes, so then they come across a woman dancing and wearing a glass slipper. And it turns out the glass slipper is the precious of this episode. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and the person giving away the slipper to people is Cinderella's one of her stepsisters from the actual story. I'm like, that's interesting. Yeah, and they say she's not attractive. Like, that's not true. The woman doesn't look that bad. Looks pretty good woman. Really good looking woman. So, so after various women, including Boukenger Pink. Oh yeah, and the prince. Apparently he controls this world and all of it. And apparently his plot is to have like various women be a Cinderella to keep dancing like crazy in his world, and they're in comas in real life, which is weird. So eventually his weakness is his mask. And thanks to some advice that Boukenger Pink gives Cinderella's evil stepsister. Oh, and here's something interesting about episode 26. We actually have something that we never had before in this series at this point. We actually have a character being recruited into Boukenger. I'm like, why was this not in the opening episode? Yeah, this I thought was really weird. Like, something that should have been in the first episode is told in episode 26. Like basically this flashback is how Boukenger Pink got recruited into Boukenger. All because Red really wanted part of the team. Yeah, that's mostly exactly what happens here. Oh, and because apparently the evil subject can go back to the real world, she brought back one of the Boukenger weapons and destroyed the mask. They battled the prince. Apparently, he's this guy with glass slippers on him. Like, what the heck form is this? It's one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. But I thought this was a really fun episode. Yes. And despite the guy who's in the episode, his appearance in here is a cameo. Yes, seriously, he is nothing more than a freaking cameo. Now, what about the rest of the episodes? Well, 21 like, oh, it's about the Ring of Solomon. Which, get this, the plot is this. So, Dark Shadow has turned red, yellow, and black into animals. Basically, first you see that black has been turned into a dog, and yellow has been turned into a parakeet, and later on, red gets turned into a goldfish. And it's all over an animal spirit. My God, this is funny. I thought this was a really good comedy episode. Oh, and this episode starts a gag where you have Boukenger Silver. He goes like, oh, I have this fancy ring. This is the Ring of Solomon. I can talk to animals. And Silver's like, oh, thank you. Yes. This episode starts that gag that apparently he kept stealing her stuff. I thought this was funny. Yes, absolutely hilarious. And here's the strange thing. They returned 25, where this was a really good episode. I love 25. Where I'll get to 24, don't worry about that. So 25 is this. Where we have this trash, like they make a new spirit, and the Wind Ninja comes in and just spills trash, includes bowling pins for some reason, and a bowling ball. Makes him spirit monster known as Trash Spirit, where he's completely useless. And the premise of the episode is, get this, forbidden fruit, aka basically like, oh, eat this fruit, become smart. And then of course, apparently, like they take the tree, like, oh, we get the precious? Nope. Apparently, the monster episode got his hands on it, and then he decided to eat it, get smart, quit Dark Shadow. And he also gives basically, and we also have the Creator King show up in this episode, like, oh, he's there for a brief game, like, hi, I'm here. And his grunts become basically smart for a bit. Yeah, this was really weird. He keeps eating everything, and he's just going nuts because he's become an evil genius, and eventually he sort of destroys himself, and then he comes back. And apparently he ate all the fruit. Yes, a guy with a bowling ball for a head ate all the fruit. And apparently this is a lot of focus on Boukenger Silver. Yeah, I thought this was quite interesting. I thought this was quite cool. Okay, 23. I forgot to mention 23. 23, this is kind of in a way of the writers apparently thought, in a way, 23 is kind of basically a follow-up to episode 20. Why the heck they waited 3 episodes after? At least that basically they waited when they follow up, and they kind of in a way have where Edgy is kind of like written how he was during that trilogy. So I think this is different writing. It was previous 2 episodes where he's searching for the Astra, but they're not Astra because they're quasars. And this episode also involves Boukenger Blue being kidnapped by his former partner. Really fun episode. I thought this episode was so fun. And this episode felt like basically a conclusion to AG's arrogance. Just basically just concluded, but behind them. As for if he uses it again when they return to 28, who knows? But you think, okay, so you've discussed 21, 22, 23, 25, and 26. You think, okay, what about 24? 24 is one of the most strangest episodes of the whole series. And this is not a terrible episode. Where Boukenger Yellow is the whole thing is like, Oh, we captured a drum. And by the way, in case you're curious, who's the monster? Which faction appears in this episode for 25? Is it Dark Shadow? Yes. Their appearance in here is very brief. And this episode, for some reason, brings about the return of, get this, one of the Wicked Dragons and 3 of the destroyed monsters from Dark Shadow. And a bunch of grunts were destroyed. So apparently this drum is like, oh, it has no power, and then it's like, oh, it's activated, and it was this B plot, which that was a lot more interesting, where Nikki is contracted with his little boy to find his treasure. Like, okay. And Boukenger Red comes along for a while, and then Silver just magically just comes along. Well, actually just wanders in the area. He gets dragged into basically wearing a bear suit. Yes, a freaking bear suit. Yeah, and so they find the area where this treasure is, but like, oh, it could be destroyed. So what does Nick decide to do? Okay, how to think this up so quickly? Oh, I don't know. How about bring the freaking Megazord in to dig it up? Well, he has a freaking like versus use a pickaxe and a shovel, and they're like, what? She used the freaking Megazord to dig a freaking hole? Yeah, it was. Turns out it was a tombstone. And like, oh crap, her friends are in danger. So take the freaking Megazord, punch the ground with these monsters. Like, oh, not enough? I know. How about bring in the ultimate freaking version of the Megazord? Bring in all 10 freaking Zords to this damn thing and smash away. And then the thing collapsed. And use the final attack on the short monsters. This is why Power Rangers does not do this, because even though this is hilarious, this is done for good comedy. But man, this seems so petty to use a Megazord to destroy grunts. Seriously. But this was just funny. I thought it was just so funny. Yeah, really good episode. I loved it. Didn't think any episode was bad. Not really. Like, if you think of overall, I'd say none of these episodes are bad. Not really. I'd say of these episodes, like 22 and 24 are the comedy episodes. I'd say that 23 and 26 are like character development. Like 23 is the development for Boukenger Silver, and 26 is for Pink. But Silver is kind of the starring character in 25. 22, I'd say kind of in a way. 21 is like, oh, let's focus on basically Silver and Black. But these episodes were really enjoyable. I thoroughly enjoyed these. But yeah, that's pretty much it for particular review. That's pretty much it for video time, because it's getting really late. I did not want to basically go out to midnight for the next video. I rather not. So tomorrow I will cap off. I'll basically on my break for it tomorrow, because I only have 4 episodes left. So I'll discuss basically the 4 episodes of the movie. And I also have 3 comic corners to do. I'm also going to see if I could try to do some anime. Which one first? Well, basically you have Dr. Stone, Jujutsu Kaisen, Girl for Girlfriend, and Goblin Slayer. I'm going to try to get some of this stuff done tomorrow. I maybe finish it up maybe Saturday. Okay? Next see you tomorrow. Bye.